Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a very sweet game. It's a very, very interesting game. And in politics, there are no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. In this video, I want us to look at why Mount Kenya people are restless. I want us to look at why Alice Muthoni Wahome, the CS for water, is uncomfortable in William Samoei Ruto's government. I want us to look at the politics that are changing very fast in Mount Kenya. If you're joining this channel for the first time, this is Kashis Kama, the Talisman Black Africa. So, one thing that has happened is that 1.3 billion water projects that was meant for Mount Kenya has been diverted to Ukabani for political reasons. And this was done by none other than Kipruto Rono, the water PS, without consulting the CS, without seeking the approval of the cabinet secretary who comes from Mount Kenya, without bothering to seek her opinion. And this was done in consultation with the treasury. And you know very well that when you look at Kiprono Rono, and then you look at treasury, you see that treasury is dominated by the Kalenjins. And this is being done behind the back of the person who is supposed to be in charge of the water docket. This is a big blow to the Kenyan nation. This is something that they were not expecting. And I can tell you that this is just a tip of the iceberg of what lies ahead. Mambo yatajitokeza. Unajua dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. Treasury for sure is dominated by the Kalenjins. The Kalenjins are all over, and they are in many ministries. You find them in charge of day-to-day running of the ministries. One thing that William Samoei Ruto did is to checkmate all the other CS by having Kalenjin principal secretaries. And I said in this video that the people who are very powerful in the ministry, the people who are accounting officers, who are in charge of day-to-day running of the ministries, it is the principal secretaries, hapo beleni wakiitwa permanent secretaries. That is why Kiprono Rono is able to do this without the approval, without the knowledge of the CS. And this has not gone well because we have seen her complaining. Indeed, she was complaining. She said, Alice Muthoni Wahome said that she was not consulted. Her approval was not sought. She's very, very uncomfortable with this. Again, it is also worth noting that this thing is being done for political reasons. Not that, the government can always give money to Ukabani region, but why take water projects from Mount Kenya to Ukabani? Yet the government is capable of giving even more money to Ukabani, and we have no problem with that. But the reason why this thing is done is to win the hearts of the Ukabani. Is to win the heart of Mkaba, kwa sababu unajua Mkaba sasa ako nyuma ya Azimio. This is done just to defeat Raila Amolo Odinga. This is done just to please the people of Ukabani ili waweze kumuunga mkono William Samoei Ruto. Kwa sababu, politics is just about interest. And you see now the Kikuyu are feeling that their interests are not being served in Kenya Kwanza. Ambao igawa na jita wenye hisa sasa, kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba wanajitokeza kama watu ambao si wenye hisa. And again, this is coming after another 30 billion road project, popularly known as Mau Road project, was cancelled by William Samoei Ruto's government. This is not going down well. And that is why we saw Gathoni wa Mushoba complaining also, the Githunguri member of parliament, saying that William Samoei Ruto had promised to complete all the projects in Mount Kenya. And they are saying that they are feeling betrayed. That's what she was saying, that this is betrayal. And if there is one thrilling chapter that will be interesting in William Samoei Ruto's presidency, is that of betrayal, especially when you betray the Kikuyus in total. Because what he's doing now, he's going slow, he's going very, very slowly, na ameanza kuwasaliti pole pole. Igawa wanasema, siku hizi watu wanasema mapema ndio best. Ameanza pole kusema ukweli. Because this road project connected 3 counties, and the people of Mount Kenya have not been very happy about this. Again, when you listen to Gataga, member of parliament, he also said that they are not happy and that they are likely to go at any length to ensure that justice is done to the people of Mount Kenya. They said that the support of Mount Kenya to Kenya Kwanza is not secondary. That the watu wa Mlima Kenya, the words were that watu wa Mlima Kenya ni watu ambao wana haki ya kupata maendeleo, and they are not second class citizens. This is very, very interesting. Coming from, you see, Gathoni wa Mushoba comes from Kiambu, Alice Wahome comes from Murang'a, and Gataga is also in Murang'a. So you can see now what is happening. And I want to look at what this means politically. When you see people complaining about the government, and you know very well that without the support of the Gema Nation, it could have been very, very difficult for William Samoei Ruto to come anywhere closer to getting even 3 million votes. So what normally happens in Mount Kenya, normally they normally behave like a person who just watch and wait. So what the situation in Mount Kenya now is what politically you can describe as watching and waiting. They are watching at William Samoei Ruto government. They are looking at him, watching, waiting to see what he's going to do, waiting to see whether he's going to complete the projects. Wanamwangalia sana. Indeed, these days is very, very interesting that the people who supported William Samoei Ruto are the same people who are in the front line criticizing him in the mountain. That's the most interesting thing. And the more things change, the more they remain the same. Again, something that is happening in Mount Kenya, we have seen serious divisions now. People talking about William Samoei Ruto's government. There are those who are supporting him, saying that he needs more time. There are those who say that he needs to work very fast, because if he doesn't work very fast, in the fullness of time, by the time he is done by his presidency, Mount Kenya will not have reaped anything. Kwa hivyo kuna wale ambao wamesema anafaa kufanya haraka sana ili maendeleo yapatikane haraka, sababu goja utapata mtoto si wako. That's the message. So there is serious division in the mountain, more than ever before, because although these people are differing because of these projects, I can tell you that there's also the hand of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Na ukiangalia utaona kwamba wakati tuseme kwa mfano this kind of project is diverted, then you touch the Mount Kenya people na umewagusa pabaya, na sasa wameanza kumuona William Samoei Ruto, because that is what is happening. Again, Gachagua is the one who be blamed. Gachagua is the one who is going to lose, because the buck stops at Gachagua. That is why Gachagua was given that post of running mate, to watch for the Mount Kenya people's interest. And he is failing. He seems to be failing. If you ask many people of Mount Kenya, there is an agreement that Gachagua is not doing enough. Gachagua is not protecting the interests of the Gema Nation. Kwa sababu wengi wanauliza, wakati mradi huu ulielekezwa Ukambani kutoka sehemu za Mlima Kenya, where was Gachagua when all these things were happening? So you see that but what I can tell you is that this thing is being done deliberately to test the royalty of Mount Kenya people. Can they run away? Can they bolt out if such a huge project is diverted? So William Samoei Ruto is a shrewd politician, and he knows that by testing the waters, by stirring the waters, he can be able to see who is with him and who is vocal and how the people are likely to react. Again, they have started doubting the president. And even the politicians themselves, the trust that they had for William Samoei Ruto is waning very fast. And when you see them now talking publicly without fear, and when you see Alice Wahome complaining, Alice Wahome is just a nobody. Alice Wahome is among the most influential politicians in Mount Kenya. And remember, Alice Wahome is one person who is not even very happy, or very comfortable in William Samoei Ruto's government and in politics in Murang'a because of Betty Maina, who is now overshadowing her politically speaking. That is a reality. Na ukiangalia utaona kwamba there's a feeling that William Samoei Ruto is not one person who can be very much, who can actually trust with your eggs. He's going to break them before they reach the market. And that is what is happening in Mount Kenya. Again, there's all the likelihood now of emerging of a political party in the mountain. That is what will happen. It will not take time before the people of Mount Kenya have their own party. And that is why I told you yesterday, in my yesterday video, I told you that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is fronting a political party other than the Jubilee. A party where Mount Kenya people will come, join the party, and use it as a vehicle, bargaining tool. Because what happened is that Mount Kenya doesn't have a bargaining tool. They don't have a party of their own. Unlike the Mulebe Nation, who can use their party to bargain. Unlike Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, tunaona akina Gachagua wakati waliingia UDA, waliingia bila chochote. They don't have any bargaining tool. So they don't have a fallback plan unless now they form their own party. And I can tell you, I can assure you, before 2027, the Gema Nation is going to have a strong political party. Well, take it or leave it. But that is what is going to happen. Going by the happenings in Kenya Kwanza, we are likely to see that. Again, what we can say is that Ruto is likely to become very vulnerable if we continue treating the Kikuyus like this. And we know very well that without the Kikuyus, Ruto is very, very vulnerable. He can easily be impeached. Indeed, Kikuyus can easily impeach him. Without the Kikuyus, I don't see William Samoei Ruto even surviving for one term. Because these people just only need to unite with ODM. And William Samoei Ruto will be impeached in the morning. But there's also something else that watu hawaoni. When you saw Christina Pratt, is it Pratt? Yeah. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's elder sister going to State House, I believe, and I told you that it is William Samoei Ruto who had invited her. So that, William Samoei Ruto want to have peace with the Kenyatta family. And he wants the support of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He wants to work with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That is what he wants. And the reason why he wants to work with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, there are two reasons. One, he wants to finish Raila Amolo Odinga. He wants to deny him that perception of value of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and even the support of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And the major reason why he wants to work with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he believes that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta can sustain him to the end. By working with him, by having peace, making peace with him, he will have put down a fire in Mount Kenya. And what we can see now is that I know many of members of parliament will not be comfortable with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, working with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, going by their past, because they've always been complaining. But what we know is that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is a force to reckon with in the mountain. And when I look at what is happening in the mountain, something else that we can say is that when we look at Gachagua now chances of becoming of Mount Kenya kingpin, the chances are zero now, going by what is happening in the mountain. Kusema ukweli, yeye ni vigumu sana kumuona pale sasa akiwa kama ndiye msemaji wa Kikuyu, kwa sababu utaona people will see that this man is not equal to the task after all. And I wanted to look very keenly at the mountain, because this country, William Samoei Ruto will fail or succeed in his presidency according to the way he's going to treat the people of the mountain. Take it or leave it, but that is a fact. If he doesn't treat them well, if he doesn't even favor them, because the Kikuyus want favors, they want to be treated in the kids' groves, they want many projects. If William Samoei Ruto is going to abandon all these projects, if he's not going to start new projects in the mountain, I can tell you he should forget the support of these people even before 2027. What do you query? Now, the politicians in Mount Kenya knows very well that the voters are very keen to see how William Samoei Ruto is going to treat them, ama vile ambavyo ile miradi ambayo wataleta katika sehemu za Mlima Kenya wanaangalia vizuri sana, na ikiwa hataridhika, basi mambo yanaweza kuwa tofauti kabisa, hata kwa wale viongozi ambao walichaguliwa. One thing that is happening in the mountain, kuna hizi propaganda ambazo zimekuwa zikiendelezwa na Gachagua kwamba serikali haina pesa. Kusema ukweli, watu wa Mlima Kenya sasa wameanza kubadilisha that discussion, that narrative, and there's wanasema kwamba kuna pesa. Indeed, wanasema this is just William Samoei Ruto's way of escaping bringing the necessary development in the whole country, not necessarily in the mountain. Because kile ambacho kipo ni kwamba unajua William Samoei Ruto promised Kikuyu so many things, and if there is one community that will be disappointed by William Samoei Ruto, it is the Kikuyu community. Truth be told. And yesterday I had a discussion with two guys. They were talking about Tugeges. Ni wale watu ambao wamezubaa, wale watu ambao wamechaguliwa wanafuata mkodo kama maji, siasa zikiwa hivi wanafuata bila kujali, bila kuuliza. Na unapoangalia wakiwa katika bunge, sio, they don't contribute so much, wako tu pale, and sometimes they find it even very difficult even to follow the debate in parliament, even in the Senate. They never bring any new bills to parliament. Hakuna jambo lote ambalo wanafanya. They are just there. Now ndio wanaitwa tugege. And there are very many in Mount Kenya. And this is something that people are taking very seriously. I've heard people comparing Alice Wahome when she talked about that, you know, there was a time she said that Uhuru Kenyatta was an existential threat to Kenya because of BBI. I remember saying that. But now, it is now Alice Wahome again who is complaining about William Samoei Ruto. So that's why I told you, Alice Wahome is just a nobody. Alice Wahome is somebody who is taken very seriously in the mountain. Indeed, some people were expecting that William Samoei Ruto would name him as his running mate. But he didn't do that. Again, even when she was given the docket for water, many people felt that the docket was so junior for her. It was very inferior, going by the contribution she had made. And it was not only her. The people of Muranga, even when Dede Nyoro was not appointed, that is when the complaints started in the mountain. Na tunaona if William Samoei Ruto continue coming with the Bible in the mountain instead of real projects, I can tell you he's going to find it rough. Na unajua jambo moja ambalo watu wanajua ni kwamba hao viongozi wa Mlima Kenya wanajua jambo moja. If somebody is courageous, if somebody doesn't mince words, if somebody is confrontational, that's the person that they like very most. Huyo ndio wanapenda sana. Kwa mfano unapoangalia hayati Matiba, Kenneth Jido Matiba, the man was very courageous. Look at JM, very popular in the mountain. So the more courageous you are in the mountain, the more popular you become. And if you look at Alice Wahome is very courageous. Again, when you look at Alice Nganga is also also on the front line, talking about one man, one shilling, one vote, and saying that the people of Mount Kenya must get their share from the government. Something that William Samoei Ruto is not very keen to do. So in that narrative of telling Kenyans that there is no money is not something that Kenyans are buying. So in a nutshell, Alice Wahome is the CS to watch. Alice Wahome was overlooked. Alice Wahome was not consulted when a mega project of 1.3 billion was diverted by the PS for water. Kiprono Rono. I don't know what you think about Alice Wahome. I don't know what you think about the politics of William Samoei Ruto in Mount Kenya. But if you ask me, from where I sit, I can tell you, William Samoei Ruto is losing it. That is my take. Guys, is coming the Toss Man Black Africa. Kindly like this video, and may you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.